words that you need to make sure that you know. All right, there was on Wednesday in the video, there was the word monomial. There was the word binomial. There was the word trinomial. And polynomial. So mainly, those are your 4 vocab words. All right, when you look at these polynomials, you should be able to classify them. Which one is a binomial? Which one is a, Logan, will you get the door, please? Which one's a monomial? Which one is a trinomial? Okay, now, it's all based on the prefix, all right, that is in the word, all right? So mono means 1, so that's going to be 1 term. Okay, binomial, the prefix bi means 2, so it's going to have 2 terms. A trinomial, tri, like a tricycle, means 3, so that's going to be 3 terms. And then after 3 terms, we don't like keep going with 4, 5, 6, we don't specify. We just call all the others polynomials. All right, so if you can look at those prefixes and you remember what those prefixes are, all right, then you're going to be able to remember which ones are which. All right, so a monomial would be like a 4x to the 4th. Okay, 1 single term. All right, or maybe a 3x to the 2nd, or a negative 5x to the 6th. Okay, so single monomial terms. All right, binomials look like 2x plus 3. All right, there's 2 of them there. There's 2 terms. Okay, or maybe there could be lots of letters, like a 2x to the 2nd plus a 5y to the 8th. All right, it could have more than 1 letter. Doesn't make any difference. Nothing has to match. You're just counting how many there are of each one of them. Okay, trinomials. Most commonly, trinomial you're going to see is like x squared plus 2x minus 4, maybe. It's got 3. All right, and we will do this. This kind is going to be common because a little bit later in the chapter we're going to factor these things. So we'll always have an x squared here. We'll have an x in the middle. We'll have a constant here. I could have a number in front like an 8x squared minus a 4x plus a 5. Okay, again, I did that one kind of in the format that you're going to see the trinomials. All right, and then a polynomial is anything that has 4 or more terms. So if you saw something maybe like a 4x to the 8th plus a 7x squared minus 5y even plus 10xy squared. I'm adding more letters in here just so that you can see that I don't always have to have a single letter. I could have plus an 8x squared y to the 4th. All right, now that one I didn't put in standard form or anything. If I count how many terms there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. So that's why it's a polynomial. We don't have a specific name for it. If it only had 4 terms, it'd still be a polynomial. Okay, if it had another term over here, it'd still be a polynomial. All right, but I do want you to know that, yeah, in Algebra 1, we're probably going to stick with single letters. They're probably all going to be the same letter as well. But in Algebra 2, and as you move forward, you're going to see 2 variables, maybe 2 variables with 2 different exponents, so they just keep increasing and increasing. Okay, so that was review from last Wednesday in the video that you watched there. Okay, now the degree of a polynomial, okay? We're not going to do the complicated ones that you saw in the video. We're going to do with a straightforward one, all right? We're also going to talk about standard form. Let's suppose we had like a 10x to the 4th minus 3x to the 3rd plus 9x squared minus 4x plus 7. Okay, first of all, identify it for me. Is it a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or polynomial? Yeah, it's a polynomial because it's got tons of terms. Okay, all right, now, this is in standard form. You have to write your answers in standard form. Okay, if you put this one first, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one, that's not in standard form, it's going to count it wrong every time. All right, so let's talk about standard form. That's why when we just got done doing those questions, I stopped you and I said, make sure that you put it in standard form. All standard form is my exponents go from an x to the fourth, and then an x to the third, and then an x to the second. This is an x to the first, and then the constant or number comes at the end. Okay, so when you write all of your answers, they've got to be in this order. Even if you add them up when you're adding and subtracting, multiplying in a different order, this is the order they go in when you are done. Decreasing order of those exponents. Constants, which are a plain number, goes at the very end. Okay, now if I want the degree of this in standard form, all I have to do is look at that first term. Okay, when I look at that first term, it's called a leading term because I'm in standard form. All right, I can then look at the exponent, and that exponent tells me the degree. So this leading term and the polynomial has a degree of 4. All right, and usually what you're going to do when we start doing some of the worksheet and stuff, I'm going to write just D4. All right, but in your notes, write out the word degree so you'll know it stands for degree. All right, that leading term tells me the degree of the entire polynomial, and it's a 4. If you can look at that first exponent and know what that exponent is, in standard form, it's that simple. Okay, but again, you have to memorize that. Okay, all right, so that was things that you should have got from Wednesday's video. All right, any questions at that? Okay. All right, now let's do the new part. Let's do some multiplying. All right, we'll start out with easy multiplying ones, and then we'll work our way up to larger ones. Directions are probably going to either say simplify or it'll say multiply. One of those two words, either one, is going to give you the correct directions as what you need to do. It's either going to say simplify, it's going to say multiply. All right, now probably the easiest kind is what you've already done. You've done this when we did distributive property. All right, I can take an 8 and then put inside a set of parentheses a 2x minus a 3. All right, all that is distributive property, but it's basically a monomial times a binomial. Okay, so it is multiplying. Now, we should already know how to do this. This is distributive property. I always draw the arrows to remind you what to multiply. We take the 8 times the 2x. 8 times 2x is 16x. And then we bring the minus sign straight down, and then we take the 8 times the 3. 8 times 3 is 24. And then we're done. That's our answer. All right, and we've done that at the beginning of the year. So really, technically, you were multiplying polynomials like since the beginning of the year. You just didn't know it because we called that distributive property instead. Okay, now, since we have just went through the chapter where we learned laws of exponents, I can now do maybe say a 4x on the outside and an x to the second plus maybe say a 5 on the inside. And then we can use our laws of exponents. It's still distributive property. I'm going to take the 4x times the first term. I'm going to take the 4x times the second term. The thing I have to remember when I take 4x times x, all right, when we multiply like bases, what do we do to the exponents? That was from the last chapter. When we multiply like bases, we add. Someone said add. All right, so we add those exponents, so that's an x to the third. Okay, you got to remember there's an imaginary 1 sitting right there. So when I multiply 4x times x squared, I get a 4x to the third. So that's how it's going to use the skills from the previous chapter in this. All right, that plus sign is going to come straight down. 4 times 5 is just a 20 with the x, so 20x. So you are going to have to remember when multiplying like bases, add the exponents. Add exponents. Okay, that was a rule from the previous chapter. All right, now that one's pretty simple. All right, so far you've only seen 2 inside there. Could I have a third thing on the inside? Yes. Could I put a trinomial in there? Could I put 4 terms on the inside? Yes. Okay, so if I had maybe say a 2x to the second, and then maybe on the inside a 4x to the third plus a 5x minus a 10. All right, it doesn't matter how many I have on the inside. As long as I just have one term on the outside, I'm going to distribute. I'm going to draw my little arrows. I'm going to take 2x to the second, multiply that by 4x to the third. All right, let's do one arrow at a time, one answer at a time. So 2 times 4 is 8. When multiplying the like bases, I add the exponents. So 8x to the 5th. Okay, then I'm going to distribute it to the middle term. When I multiply the 5 times the 2, I get a 10. All right, and then when I add the exponents, x to the 3rd, don't forget the imaginary 1 that's sitting right there. 2 plus that 1 right there. It's imaginary, but it's still there. Okay, then we do the 3rd arrow. All right, 2x squared times a negative 10. So 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. And then I just have to make sure and include the x squared. All right, now, are these in standard form? Is this 5 and then 3 and then 2? Are they decreasing? Yep, so it's in standard form. This is a 3 and then this is a 1. I'm in decreasing order. So I'm in standard form. All right, a lot of times that will happen when you just do it naturally. Now, if it doesn't, then you need to put it in standard form if that doesn't happen. All right, now those are pretty straightforward. Now, let's say instead of having a monomial on the outside, I have a binomial on the outside. Okay, so I could have something that looks like a 2x plus a 6 and then a 3x minus a 4. Now this is where I'm going to start to color code. Okay, now there's lots of different ways to do this. If you watch videos on YouTube, it's going to probably tell you FOIL. All right, FOIL works. It's an acronym to help you remember how to multiply things. However, since we're really good at distributive property, why don't we just keep doing distributive property? Okay, now if I do, I'm going to use blue here first. I'm going to take everything in the first binomial and multiply it by everything in the last one. So I'm going to take 2x and distribute it to the 3x. So 2x times 3x is 6x to the second, because I got to, when multiplying like bases, add those exponents. So I've got a 6x to the second. All right, now I'm going to take that 2x and also distribute it to the 4. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 with the x, so minus 8x. All right, now that part I've done in blue. Now I'm going to take the other number that's in the first term, which is the 6, and I'm going to distribute it to everything in the second one. So 6 times 3x. 6 times 3 is 18 with the x, right? 18x. All right, now, we know how to add like terms, right? Do I already have an x term down there? Yeah, so why don't I put the 18x plus 18x right underneath? Because I know I'm going to have to eventually add it. So I might as well put it right underneath. It matched up for like terms. All right, now let's go ahead and distribute the 6 to the negative 4. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. All right, now this is just called a vertical method. It just lines up your like terms. I'm going to have to add these, all right? Nothing adds here, so I just bring down my 6x squared. When I add this, what's a negative 8 plus 18? Yeah, 10, a positive 10 with the x. Like terms, add like terms, keep like answers. And then when I add this, I just have a negative 24. It makes it shorter on your paper. It lines up your like terms. All right, now a lot of times you'll see this if you watch this, like say on, like I said, a random YouTube on video. They're gonna random video on YouTube. They're gonna say, okay, FOIL method, and then they're gonna go all the way across the paper. They're gonna write each of the terms all the way across, and then go through and add like terms. The only thing we're doing is trying to shorten that method and line up like terms underneath. So then all you gotta do is add going down. That makes it simple. Okay. Now, what if I had 2 out here and 3 on the inside? Okay, I can do that. I could have a 3x minus a 4 in my first polynomial. Then I could have maybe say a 2x squared minus a 5x plus a 10. All right, that's okay. I want to do this repeated distributive property. I want to take everything that's in the first one and multiply it by everything that's in the second one. And you need to do this in a systematic order so that you can keep track of things. I'm going to take that 3x and I'm going to distribute it to the 2x squared. So when I multiply, I get a 6x to the third. I'm going to write it all the way over here. 6x to the third, just to make sure I got plenty of room. Okay, then I'm going to take that 3x and I'm going to distribute it to the middle term. 3x times a negative 5x, negative 15, x to the 2, because remember, when multiplying like bases, we add those exponents. Okay, we added the exponents here, so now we got to add exponents again, so minus a 15, x to the second. Now I'm going to take the 3x and multiply it by the 10. So 3 times 10 is just 30 with a single x. Plus 30x. Okay, now again, I'm going to color code. I've done the 3x and I've multiplied it by everything in the second polynomial. Now I need to do that with that negative 4. So I'm going to take the negative 4 and multiply it by the 2x to the second. So negative 8 x to the second. Do I already have an x to the second term? Yep. So line it right up underneath there. Negative 8 x to the second. Take the negative 4 times the negative 5x. Negative times negative is positive, and then with an x. Do I have an x term? So plus 20x. And then negative 4 times 10. Negative 40. Don't have any more like terms, so I can just put a minus 40. I've already done a lot of work if I line them up like this, because I already know now exactly which terms are like terms, and I can just add going straight down. I can get a 6x to the third. What's negative 15 and negative 8? Negative 23. And then the x squared. Add and going down, 20 and 30 is 50 with the x, and then bring down that minus 40. This is the easiest, most systematic way to go about doing this. Okay, you already add up your like terms, so you don't have to be looking at a great big long string of numbers to find them. Okay, it doesn't matter how many I put in the front and how many I put in the second polynomial. You take every number that's in the front. So like, it gets a lot of arrows if you're actually drawing the arrows, but the arrows will keep you remembering what number goes to what. All right, now the other thing, stop and look at how many different places you can make a mistake. If you don't multiply right, if you don't add exponents right, if you don't multiply right, if you don't add exponents right. On every one of these, you could make 2 mistakes. If I don't add right, the coefficient isn't right. If I don't multiply right, the coefficient isn't right. If I don't add right, the exponent's not right. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mistakes right there from the distributive property. When I add going down, if I don't add going down right, there's 12, 13, 14, 15. You have an opportunity to make 15 mistakes in every problem. That's why these just take time. You need to pay attention. When you multiply something, make sure you multiplied right. When you add your exponents, make sure you're not making silly mistakes, because all it takes is one number. If I would have multiplied that wrong and had a 20x right there, the whole problem would have been done, even if that was my only mistake. Okay? So lots of places to make mistakes. All right, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass out to you a worksheet.